Hi love, it's Dulcie and welcome to day one of your best year yet. We're starting with your values today, which might sound a bit abstract at first, but I promise this is one of the most grounding, clarifying parts of the entire challenge. Before we look back on the year you've lived or turn toward the year ahead, I want you to come back to the things that hold you steady, the things that help you navigate your life with more honesty and less chaos. I should probably say that this whole part of the workbook started as a personal practice of mine long before I created WorkWell. A few years ago, I realized I had a growing gap between what I said I valued and how I was actually living. I had the theory down. I could name the concepts, I could write a list, but in practice, I was often making choices from habit, fear, convenience, or a this is what a responsible adult is supposed to do mentality. There was nothing wrong with my life per se, but inside I felt out of alignment. I wasn't broken or lost, I just felt off. I had that subtle feeling of just being a degree or two away from myself. So I started paying attention to the moments that felt true and the moments that didn't. Over time, I noticed patterns. I realized what really mattered to me was different from what I had been performing. And once I named those things properly, everything softened. I stopped forcing myself into shapes that didn't fit. And I had anchors to return to whenever the sea of life got choppy. And that is what today is all about. Not building a glamorous list of values for your CV, but getting honest about what actually guides your life. So let's walk through the three parts of today's work together. Part 1, when your values come alive. The workbook starts by asking you to look at real moments from this past year. Moments you felt fulfilled, moments you felt drained, people you admire, choices that surprised you, decisions that brought you peace. These aren't random questions, they're little clues. Your values aren't ideas that you just pluck from thin air. They show up in how you move through the world. They show up in what lifts you, what drains you, what irritates you, and what makes you think, oh, this is a bit of me. As you move through these prompts, don't worry about being clever or profound. Just note down whatever comes naturally. The point isn't to write beautifully or to impress anyone. It's simply to notice. There's magic in the noticing. If you feel stuck at any point, don't worry. Try scrolling back through your camera roll or messages, or think about a moment that stayed with you this year for reasons you can't quite articulate. There's usually a breadcrumb or two hidden in there. Part 2, gathering your values. Once you've moved through those prompts, the workbook invites you to gather anything that feels like a contender. Words, themes, ideas, qualities, anything that's been echoing across those prompts. Let this be your working list, so it can be messy. Don't worry about getting it right. You're not choosing your life motto here. You're simply noticing what keeps repeating itself. The only thing you mustn't do is censor yourself. If a word feels true in your body, even if it sounds unimpressive or too simple or not official enough, just write it down. Your values don't need to sound good. They just need to ring true. And if a value is on the tip of your tongue, but you can't quite catch the language for it, I've created a list of over 100 values, which you'll find linked on page 7 of the workbook. However, this is not a shopping list, so please don't scan it and suddenly decide that you're meant to embody the very best of humanity. Use it if you need a nudge or a word that helps you describe something you already feel. Part 3, narrowing your values. Once your shortlist is down on the page, the workbook will ease you into the narrowing bit. This is where you look at everything you've written and think, all right, which of these actually shows up in my real life and which ones are just here for vibes? You're aiming for no more than 5 core values. Not because fewer is better, but because these are meant to be anchors. A long list is noise. A small handful is a compass. If you need help on narrowing your list, here's a few things you can ask yourself. Which ones show up even when I'm not trying? Which ones genuinely guide my decisions or my boundaries? Which ones bring me peace? Which ones would I feel disconnected without? Remember again that you are not picking the most impressive words, you're choosing the ones that feel like home. And also remember this work is seasonal. These values don't need to define you forever. They just need to be true for right now. So that's today. As you can see, this is gentle work, but it is important work. You're not redesigning yourself, you're reconnecting with yourself. You're noticing the threads that have already been running underneath your year and gathering the ones that actually matter. So take your time with this, be honest with yourself, and trust that whatever comes up is enough. I'm right here with you through the rest of the week, and I will see you tomorrow for day 2.